Lansing's only sports station. The Game, 7:30.
Let's play.
Team wrestling puts up more back-to-back-to-backs than Chris Berman in his prime, and unseasonably warm temps can't stop the downhill ski finals. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. For longtime listeners of this program, this first section is going to sound very, very familiar, but I promise it's not a repeat, even though all four team wrestling champions are repeats. That's right. Detroit Catholic Central, Lowell, Dundee, and Hudson all repeated as team wrestling champs, with some winning more than just back-to-back. In Division I, Detroit Catholic defeated Heartland 41-12 in the championship match. It's DCC's second straight D1 title, 6th in the last 8 years, and 17th in program history. In 3 rounds over the weekend, the Shamrocks allowed just 21 total points. In Division II, Lowell bested Freeland in the championship match, securing an 11th straight D2 title for the Red Arrows. The last time Lowell didn't win the title was 2013. Frozen was the top movie, and the Harlem Shake was a thing. In Division III, Dundee beat Whitehall 49-20 in the championship match. That makes 7 straight team titles for the Vikings, 9 of the last 11, and 16 finals titles overall. And in Division IV, Hudson won for a 3rd straight time, this year beating St. Louis in the championship. This is the Tigers' 6th title in the last 8 years and 11th overall. That's 4 champions, all who need a new wing in the trophy case for their wrestling hardware. For complete coverage of the team championships, as well as all of the information you need for this weekend's individual finals at Ford Field, please check out MHSAA.com. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. First, Zeeland's Riley Smith. In her 6th and final game bowling at regionals, she rolled a perfect 300, claiming the individual regional championship and helping Zeeland advance to the MHSAA finals. Bark River Harris's Lauren Zawada, she put up 17 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 6 steals in a win over Munising, giving the Broncos an outright Skyline Central Conference title. And to Marquette hockey coach Doug Garrow, he notched his 200th win as coach and a 7-1 win over Escanaba.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
You may remember the scene from the movie Hoosiers where Coach Melvin Dale pulls Raid from a game on principle and later keeps him on the bench, electing to use just 4 players. Is this legal? The answer is no. NFHS rules state that if you have 5 eligible players, all must play, and you must have 5 to start the game. You're only allowed to play with fewer because of injury or disqualification. During the pandemic, some coaches facing teams down to 4 players had their 5th player stand near the sideline to create a 4-on-4 in the spirit of good sportsmanship, which is legal. But you can't do what Coach Dale did and say, "That's my team."
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, please go to the MHSAA website now to register. Repeat champions were the theme of the day at the MHSAA ski finals as well. Yes, despite the balmy temps, there is skiing taking place. Starting in Division II, which took place at Nubbs Knob in Harbor Springs, the Petoskey boys team won its 5th straight title and 12th in the last 13 years. On the girls' side, Cadillac won its 2nd title in 3 years and now has a top 3 finish in each of the last 4 years. Over at Boyne Highlands for the Division I finals, it was Traverse City Central's boys team ending the Traverse City West's 3-year run as champion. Flip those results on the girls' side, TC West repeats as champion, with TC Central coming in 2nd. Complete results, including individual champions, can be found at MHSAA.com. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll be back next week.
Lansing's only sports station. The Game, 7:30.
Let's play.
And a pleasant good Saturday morning to everyone out there. This is High School Rewind here on the Game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN, brought to you by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries, as well as the Lansing Sports Commission. I am Brock Palmbush. Thank you for joining me here. And, man, we got a busy show coming up today, so let's get to it. Man, it's just wild district championship games last night. Some unexpected results, couple of unexpected results. And we'll get to that in just a minute. But we have 7 area teams left on the boys' side after last night. East Lansing and Waverly, you figured they would win their district, and they did. We'll get to the recaps here in just a little bit. You figured Langsburg and PW would win. That wasn't a huge shock. And Fowler, even though they were 17-7, you expected them to win that Bellevue district. But the big surprises were in Division II. And at Ionia High School, it was Ionia upsetting Portland. That was which was a surprise. They win the district title at home at their home gym. They upset Portland 51-43. They were 10-12 in the regular season, but Ionia gets the victory last night. Spencer Tooker had a really good game. He had 15 points, and Colt Piercefield, he had 16 to lead Ionia in the victory. Congratulations to Scott Swinehart. You got guards in the tournament. Doesn't matter what tournament you're in, high school or college. You got guards. You got a chance to win. If you don't have guards, you will not win. It's that simple, folks. And Ionia's got guards, and they had a chance to win. Playing at home, in their home district, they get it done, 51-43. But the bigger surprise was down at Charlotte High School. Charlotte lost twice to Lansing Sexton in the regular season, but they get them in the district, at their home district, at the Oriole Dome in Charlotte. It was Charlotte 61, Sexton 49, came from behind in the fourth quarter to win it. Cutler Brandt, 35 points. Man, almost a superhuman effort there for Cutler Brandt. And Charlotte wins it 61-49 over Sexton. Charlotte is headed to the regionals. They are 19-6 on the season. Congratulations to Charlotte. You know what? They were the only team in this area to win 3 games this week. They were the only one. All other teams that won on Monday, they lost on Wednesday. Charlotte was even the only team to win Monday and Wednesday, and then they eventually won on Friday. They went 3-0 this week. They are now 19-6 on the year. They got a tough task coming up, though, on Tuesday. They got to play Chelsea, who's really good in everything pretty much, down at Adrian High School in the Division II championship. We'll go over the regional schedule here a little bit later on in the program, but those two things stuck out to me in the Division II. Charlotte and Ionia pulling surprises and winning district titles last night. The game that we broadcast, hope you enjoyed it last night. Man, East Lansing, they just get it done. They got it done in the first half. They got out to a 15-point lead, and they were never really seriously challenged after the first half of play. Eric Love, Derek Doc Love, my broadcast partner, he took stats at the halftime, and he did all the addition in mathematics as far as shooting percentage goes. According to him, and I'd say it's pretty reliable, East Lansing shot 65% from the first half. In the first half, 65%. They were 1 for 6 from the free throw line. That's something they got to work on, but they shot 65% from the floor, and it was mainly KJ Torbert and Cam Hudson. They had 31 of their 37 points in the first half. They ended up with 50 points out of the 66 that they had. They were just sensational. Cam Hudson did leave the game in the second half with a leg injury. Don't know if it was a knee or don't know if it was an ankle, but he was limping off the court when he left the game. And then he worked it out, and it was a little bit better. And then after the game, when he got sprayed with water by his teammates after the game was over, He was moving around pretty good, so let's hope that that's not a serious injury because he was outstanding last night. 25.6 rebounds. KJ Torbert, 25.7 rebounds and a blocked shot. And they were just great last night. Their two best players, they were just sensational. Other guys contributed in other ways. B.J. Wyndham didn't score. He was 0 for 4 from the line, but he had 6 rebounds and 8 assists. And Christian Dunn, 4 points. He had 6 rebounds as well. So those guys were able to contribute. And East Lansing now will play Waverly, who held off DeWitt in the final seconds to beat they beat DeWitt 45-42. So it'll be East Lansing and Waverly next Tuesday night, 5:30 p.m. at Kalamazoo Central High School for the regional semifinals. So that should be one whale of a ball game, and that'll be the third time that those two teams have played this season. All right, moving on to Division III, Langsburg. I mean, the streak goes on and on and on and on. They won it again. They won again, 57-46 at their home district at Langsburg, playing a very credible and tough team in Stockbridge. But Xander Woodruff, he only had 11 points for Langsburg. He's the All-Stater, has a chance to be Division III Player of the Year. Only 11 points. Well, no problem. Other guys stepped forward. Ty Randall, who they got back from a football injury earlier in, I believe it was January, he had a game-high 21 points, and Mitchell George had 15 in support of Randall. And Langsburg, they get the win, 57-46. They're going to move on into the regionals at Jackson Lumen Christi, where they got to play undefeated Chesaning, who took care of Ovid Elsie last night. Beat them pretty easily. Beat them, 50-34. So that should be another one whale of a ball game coming up Tuesday night at Jackson Lumen Christi High School. By the way, Ovid Elsie finishes their season at 14-10. As far as Pewamo Westphalia goes, well, they took care of Maple Valley, Vermontville Maple Valley, 59-42 at Potterville High School. Dominic Weber had a game, had 11 points to lead PW in the win. PW now 22-2 on the season. They're going to move on. They're going to play North Muskegon coming up at Pewamo Westphalia High School. That's a big deal there. PW hosting the regional tournament there, playing North Muskegon. That should be a heck of a ball game. Oh, yeah, and North Muskegon is undefeated as well. Moving on into Division IV, Fowler took care of Portland St. Patrick, 56-44. Jacob Halfman, 23 points in the win. Alex Halfman had 12. Asher Kenishnecht had 11 points, taking out St. Pat's. St. Pat's finishes the year 12-12. Fowler moves on. 17-7 on the season. Fowler finished third in the CMAC behind Langsburg and PW. So the top 3 teams in the CMAC, they're still alive in the state tournament. Fowler's going to play Wyoming Tri-Unity Christian at Fowler High School. Hey, Fowler, just like PW, they get to host their regional tournament. Good for them. Advantage them. But they got to play Wyoming Tri-Unity Christian coming up on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. That's the second of the 2 games there. So that's that. And, one more team, Weberville. They were hosting their own district, got to the finals against Brighton Livingston Christian, and Weberville led for a majority of the game. Yeah, more than half the game. Weberville had a 4-point lead, 42-38, after a 10-0 run. And then Weberville got outscored 41-9 the rest of the game. Brighton Livingston Christian outscored them 41-9 in the last 12 minutes and 45 seconds. Unreal. You never see that in a high school game. That's almost unheard of. But Weberville, very young team, 7 sophomores and a freshman on varsity. And that freshman, Dominic Driver, led Weberville with 17 points on the season. Hey, very young. They were really good a couple of years ago. Remember, Nate Lott and the Lycos kid that were really, really good. But Tony Rhodes has a good future there at Weberville High School, but not quite good enough. Last night, Weberville ends their season at 10-12, 41-9. Wow, that's pretty incredible there. So we got 7 area teams left. in the state high school boys basketball tournament. We'll go over the regional matchups coming up later on in the program. But first, we got to get to girls basketball. And there were really three things that stuck out to me from, four things, actually. The game I was at on Thursday night, Williamston pulled a mild upset and beat Portland at home, 45-39 in a battle of league champions. Williamston won the outright CAAC red title. Portland, the CAAC white co-champs. Williamston able to win it, 45-39. Reese Gaitan had... Actually, Abby Brannon led them in scoring off the bench. She had 13 points off the bench, and she was very, very good. She had 4 3-pointers, and she also had 5 rebounds as well. So very nice job there for her. And Reese Gaitan had 12 points. 5, 8, 9, 11. Nope, she had 13. Nope, she had 13 as well. And she had 9 rebounds for Coach Pete Cool's team. So very good win for Williamston. Got to work on free throw shooting, though. They were 13 of 25 from the free throw line in that game. But that was a mild upset. Portland was ranked in the top 10 in Division II. Bigger upset was at Grand Ledge High School. Grand Ledge only 7-15 on the season on the girls' side. And they knock off Division I 8th-ranked Jackson Northwest at home, 42-35. That's one of the upsets of the year in girls basketball. Grand Ledge, again, only 7-15 on the season. But Elena Armstrong, their best player and their leading scorer, 11 points and 10 rebounds to help them win that one. Alexi Raska had 11 points as well. Kiara Page, 8 points, 10 rebounds for Grand Ledge in the victory. 7-15 on the season, but they win it there. Also, Olivet won a thriller on Thursday over Pewamo Westphalia, 42-40. Lansing Catholic, ranked 10th in the Division II, the defending state champs, went to Holt and won in overtime, 47-42. And Lansing Catholic gets the win there. They'll be ready to go in the district tournament coming up next week. So those things stuck out to me in girls basketball. The regular season is now over, and Portland St. Pat's won the CMAC title with a 17-1 league record. They clinched it earlier this week on Tuesday with a victory, 20-2 on the season. Fowler finishes second in the CMAC, 16-2 in league play, 19-3 overall. DeWitt ripped Caledonia big time on Tuesday, and they finished 12-0 in league play, 20-2 overall. East Lansing and Holt finished tied for second in the league at 9-3. Williamston won the CAAC Red with a 10-0 league record. They're 17-5 overall. Portland and Lansing Catholic tied for the CAAC White title. Portland 19-2, Catholic at 11-1. And Ovid Elsie, in the others category, the Mid-Michigan Athletic Conference champions finished 19-2. Leslie at 17-5. Morris finishes their regular season at 14-6. Coming up on the other side of this break, we got to get to girls basketball district matchups. That's coming up next. Here on High School Rewind on the game 730 AM WVFN. It's brought to you by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries and by the Lansing Sports Commission.
Lansing Sports Station, the game, 730 AM.
Welcome back to High School Rewind here on the game, 730 AM WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network. Today's show brought to you, as always, by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries. At Dowding Industries, always interested in individuals that have the drive and desire to be successful in work and in life. Check them out at dowdingindustries.com. You may find a successful future here. And by Megan Zemer and her great staff at the Lansing Sports Commission. No matter the sport, the Lansing Sports Commission can make your next event your best event. Plan on something greater. Find out more at lansingsports.org. All right, the girls basketball district matchups were announced 6 days ago, and they were publicized then, and I have all the area teams in their matchups coming up this week, beginning on Monday. And you can go to the game 730am.com, go to lansingsportsnetwork.com. You'll be able to find them there involving the area teams. And if you want to find, if you're from someplace else in the state of Michigan, you want to find out where your local school is, playing this week. Go to the MHSAA's website, MHSAA.com. But here we go with girls basketball in the Mid-Michigan area. Here we are. Let's start in Division I. At Holt High School, it will be Mason at 11-9 taking on Okemos at 9-12. That game is coming up on that game's coming up on Monday, and actually, Mason, when I put those up, records were listed as of February 28th. Mason was able to get to 12-9 with a win this week, and Okemos was able to get a win. They are 10-12 on the season. As far as Jackson North coming up next, Jackson Northwest is going to play the Mason Okemos winner. That's at 5:30 at Holt High School on Wednesday, and then East Lansing at 16-6 will play 14-8 Holt. That's at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, and then the two semifinal winners, the Jackson Northwest Mason Okemos winner against the East Lansing Holt winner. They will play Friday night at 7 o'clock at Holt High School. At St. John's, it's Waverly at 10-11 on the season, playing St. John's at 11-11. They play at 7 o'clock on Monday night at St. John's High School, where they will play that winner of that game will play at 5:30 on Wednesday against top-seeded DeWitt at 20-2. Little surprised with the MPR ranking that Grand Ledge is the second seed in the district at 7-15, but they are, and they're going to play Eastern in the semifinals, 5-17, and then of course the two winners will play for the district title at 7 o'clock on Friday night at St. John's High School. DeWitt heavily favored to win that. In Division II at Battle Creek Penfield High School, it will be Eaton Rapids at 5-17 playing Olivet at 13-9. They are playing at 7 o'clock on Monday night at Battle Creek Penfield High School. Not too far of a drive for them. Parma Western at 13-8 will play the Eaton Rapids Olivet winner. Marshall will play Battle Creek Penfield in that other semifinal. And then the two winners will play on Friday night at 7 o'clock for the district title. Coming up at Portland High School, Hastings, 3-17 on the season, will play Lakewood at 11-11 in the opening night game at 7 o'clock at Portland High School. Lansing Catholic, 17-5, will play the Hastings Lakewood winner at 5:30. Portland, 19-2, the number 2 seed, will play Charlotte at 5-17. That's at 7 o'clock, and then the two winners will play for the title on Friday. That's highly expected to be Lansing Catholic against Portland. Coming up on Monday at Fowlerville High School, also Division II, Hazlitt at 15-7 on the season will play 10-11 Pinckney. That's at 7 o'clock coming up on Monday. And then Chelsea at 17-4 will play the Hazlitt Pinckney winner at 5:30. And then the other semifinal has Williamston at 17-5 playing Fowlerville. Excuse me. Had to sneeze there, folks. Fowlerville at 8-14. They play at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. And then the two winners will play Friday at Fowlerville High School for the district title. Coming up, Division III, at Saranac High School. Saranac, 2-20 on the season. Going to play another 2-20 team. That's Vermontville Maple Valley. Powama Westphalia is going to play the winner of that. Powama Westphalia, 14-8 on the girls' side, will play the Saranac Maple Valley winner. That's at 5:30 coming up on Wednesday. Potterville at 5-17 is going to play 1-19 Carson City Crystal at 7 o'clock. The final is at 7 o'clock on Friday. Powama Westphalia heavily favored to win that. Also at Ithaca High School, we got one area team there, and that's Ovid Elsie. Ovid Elsie 19-2. They're going to play Wednesday against the Ithaca New Lothrop winner. Ithaca New Lothrop will play at 6 o'clock at Ithaca High School. That winner will play Ovid Elsie on Wednesday. St. Charles 19-2 on the season against Chesaning at 7 o'clock. That's the other district semifinal. And then the two winners play Friday night at 7 o'clock for the title. At Perry High School, the last one involving area teams, Dansville. They were 13-9 this season. They are playing Leslie at 16-6. That's game one at 5:30. And then Perry at Langsburg, Perry hosting Langsburg, rather. Perry, 6-16 on the season. They are playing Langsburg at 12-10. That's a 7 o'clock start on Monday. And then on Wednesday, Bath, 16-6 on the season, will play the Dansville Leslie winner. That's at 5:30. And then Stockbridge at 13-9 will play the Perry Langsburg winner at 7 o'clock. The two winners will play on Friday at 7 o'clock for the district championship. And then finally at Fulton High School. Fulton, 12-9 on the season, are going to play Morris, 14-6 in game one. That's at 5:30 up at Fulton High School. And then Weberville at 7-13. They're going to play Lansing Christian, who is 10-12 on the year. That's at 7 o'clock. Fowler, 19-3 on the season, will play the Fulton Morris winner at 5:30. And then Portland St. Pat's, the CMAC champs, will play the Weberville Lansing Christian winner at 7 o'clock. That's highly expected for Fowler to play Portland St. Pat's for a third time this season. They split their games in the regular season, and they will. But they looks like they'll play for something bigger coming up at Fulton High School coming up on Friday night. But we'll wait and see. You never know about that. So that's what we got there for girls basketball district matchups. You got the pairings. And you can go to the game730am.com, go to lansingsportsnetwork.com. We will have those there for you. Got the boys regional matchups here for you for the 7 area teams that are left. Division I, East Lansing against Waverly, Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. at Kalamazoo Central High School. That's the only one in Division I. Those are the last 2 teams left in Division I. We got 2 teams left in Division II. Ionia against Grand Rapids Catholic Central, 5:30 p.m. That's at Allendale High School. And then the other one is at Adrian High School at 7 o'clock. Charlotte, surprise winner of their own district, after taking out favored Sexton, they will play Chelsea in Adrian High School at 7 o'clock. That's Division II on Tuesday. Remember, because the girls' districts are Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. In Division III, undefeated 24-0 Chesaning against 24-0 Langsburg. That's at 7 o'clock at Jackson Lumen Christi High School. Lumen Christi's boys team, they're an outstanding squad as well. They won a thriller last night in the Division III, and they're going to host their own regional is Lumen Christi. Lumen Christi good in just about every single sport that they play. And that should be one whale of a district. By the way, Lumen is 20-4 on the season. They got to play a pretty good Hanover Horton team at 16-8 in the other half of that regional. Powama Westphalia, they host their own their own regional as well. That is North Muskegon. PW, 22-2 on the season against 24-0 North Muskegon. They will play at 7 o'clock coming up on Tuesday. And then in Division IV, it is Fowler against Wyoming Tri-Unity Christian, but advantage Fowler. They host the regional this year, so that should be a very interesting ball game there coming up in the regional semifinals. So that's what we got there for boys and girls basketball, the district and the regional pairings. That's what we got there. And should be exciting coming up in the next couple of weeks. Next 3 weeks are just going to be absolutely wild. Regionals next week for the boys and districts for the girls. Coming up after this break, we'll get to Brian Calloway, the prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal, LSJ.com. He is coming up after this. You're listening to your trusted source for high school sports coverage. The Game 730 AM WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network, brought to you by Jeff and Chris Metz and Downing Industries and Megan Zemer and her great staff at the Lansing Sports Commission.
WVFN.
Welcome back to High School Rewind here on the Game 730 AM WVFN. Very happy to be joined now once again by the prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal, LSJ.com. He is Brian Calloway. Brian, the game we were at last night was absolutely wild, and we'll get to that in a second. But, the upset of the night in boys district championship basketball was over at the Oriole Dome in Charlotte. Sexton beating Charlotte twice during the regular season, but Charlotte getting them in the district final last night, 61-49, and it took a great performance from Cutler Brandt, Charlotte's leading scorer and probably their best player, or at least one of their 2 best players. Charlotte wins the district title for the second time in a row, and they upset Sexton. Upset of the night, I thought. Great season for Sexton, but Charlotte just better last night, apparently in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I'm kind of following along with that game with some of the TV people that were at our game. Are kind of saying that Sexton was on the ropes a little bit and Charlotte had the upper hand, and then obviously Charlotte was able to finish the job. But yeah, impressive for Charlotte, on their home floor to be able to capture a second straight district title and in what was a pretty special season for Sexton. I mean, Sexton, had won, 16, 17 straight games.
16 straight, yeah.
Matchup. And, had, like you said, had beat Charlotte twice during the regular season. They had some close games during the regular season. I think you and I were both at the first meeting when those two teams played at Sexton.
Yep.
That game was pretty tight throughout the night as well, too. But, yeah, it's a very impressive win for Charlotte, and I would agree with you kind of saying that was the upset of the night in our area.
The other mild upset, I would say, was at Ionia High School, where Ionia, who finished the regular season below 500, they fortunately for them, they were able to host a district this season at their gym, and they take care of Portland last night at home, 51-43. I didn't see that coming. There's always upsets in the tournament, but those two really stuck out. Charlotte stuck out more to me than Ionia, but Ionia 10-12 in the regular season, and here they are in the regionals at 12-12, going to take on a very good Grand Rapids Catholic Central team. Great win for Ionia on their home court last night.
I think that's a great win for Ionia. What was kind of a very up and down season where, they had some good moments, and then there were some tough moments for them throughout the year as well, too. But, like you said, they had a district at home. Were able to, take advantage of the home court advantage to be able to win a district title. And obviously those two teams did split during the regular season as well, too. So Ionia had beat, Portland earlier in the year, but considering the season that they had in Portland, still had a pretty solid season, under Coach Luke Pohl as well, too. So very a nice win for Ionia to be able to win a district championship.
Colt Piercefield, just a sophomore, led the Bulldogs with 16 points, and Spencer Tooker had 15 as well. Great wins there in Division II, and surprising wins there, really. All right, let's get to the game where we were at last night, Mason High School. And, East Lansing was just outstanding, especially in the first half. Eric Ducklove doing the stats at halftime, the game you heard here on the game, 7:30 a.m. He had East Lansing shooting 65% in the first half. That is absolutely amazing. And they were led, as usual, by KJ Torbert and Cam Hudson. They were great last night.
No, they were great. And, that was, one of the best performances that I've seen from East Lansing this year, considering the opponent and everything else considered. They just looked, the first half was very sharp. I mean, they took care of the ball, didn't really turn it over much. And all this came without J.L. Branson, who is still out, and he's been out since the end of the regular season there. So very impressed for them to do what they did against a very strong Okemos team. And, I feel like Coach Jeff Wunsch did a very great job with this group and, what he was able to get them to do, winning 19 games and finishing as the CWAC Blue runner-up. And Ray Mitchell acknowledged as much and kind of mentioned just, how difficult it is to prepare for that team and knowing that, he's always going to get the best shot from Okemos just because of how well coached they are. But, no, very impressive win for East Lansing to do what they did in the way that they did it.
They out-rebounded Okemos unofficially 32-14. Got to work on their free throw shooting. They were only 8 for 18 last night, probably the only thing they did wrong last night. But East Lansing is going to move forward, and their opponents next are going to be the Warriors of Waverly. Waverly was able to hang on and beat DeWitt last night at Grand Ledge in a game that was close all the way. We were getting updates, getting text updates all night long, and it was close all the way until the end. And Waverly stopped DeWitt on a last three-point attempt in the final seconds, and the Waverly wins it. And Rod Watts has his Warriors in the regionals, and a big-time win for them. And, hey, congratulations to them. Sounded like it was a heck of a game.
Yeah, it definitely did sound like it was a heck of a game. And, yeah, big for Waverly because it's been at least a decade since I believe that they have won a district title as well, too. So that was definitely big for them. And now they're the team that gets a third shot at East Lansing. And, I think you guys were at the last meeting between those teams when they played at Waverly, and that was a tight game that went down to the wire.
We did both games.
I think – yeah, I was at both games as well, too. So I think this is going to be a very good regional semifinal down in Kalamazoo against those two teams.
Brian Calloway, Prep Sports Editor of the Lansing State Journal, LSJ.com, joining us here on High School Rewind. And let's move on to Division III. Langsburg. I thought they would have a difficult time with Stockbridge. Stockbridge, a very good and very more than credible team. They were 17-6 going into that game. And for once, Xander Woodruff did not lead them in scoring. It's their second best player, their second leading scorer, Ty Randall, comes back from injury from football season. He joins them early in basketball season, and he scored 21 points last night, and they needed all of them because Xander Woodruff, who's the All-Stater and could be the Division III Player of the Year in the state of Michigan, only had 11. That's got to be big time for Coach Tim Beebe to know that, hey, there's going to be times where Xander Woodruff isn't going to be great. He wasn't great last night, but other guys stepped forward, like Ty Randall and Mitchell George, who had 15.
There's big for Langsburg to find a way to win, without Xander Woodruff being on his A game, and to get contributions from many other people. And that's something that they've said throughout the season, is that they've got multiple guys that can get it done besides Xander Woodruff. And it showed last night when they were able to outlast Stockbridge. But Stockbridge had a very strong season. I mean, they played some tough competition as well too. So you knew that they were going to be ready for a game like that based on some of the teams they played. I think they played Everett. I mean, they played in the Moneyball Tip-Off Classic. So,
right.
They played some good teams, so they weren't going to be intimidated, and they were going to be ready for Langsburg. And obviously that showed with the way that they played them last night. And they got a big performance out of Shannon Henderson, who I believe led all scorers in that game. I think he had 20 points or something like that last night as well.
Yeah, for Stockbridge. Yep.
Yeah, but an impressive season for Stockbridge playing as an independent.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll get into a league. I believe they're going to be in the Interstate 8 next year, but a good season for Stockbridge. But Langsburg, too much, and they keep that winning streak going. The other team in Division III that's still alive, Pewamo Westphalia. They had a tougher time than expected with Maple Valley at Potterville High School. PW, however, wins it 59-42. Dominic Weber led the Pirates with 11 points. Other guys stepped forward, like 3 or 4 other guys had 9 points apiece. But there is concern for Pewamo Westphalia. Grady Eklund, their terrific sophomore, probably an all-stater. I don't see his name mentioned in this recap here on LSJ.com. And it's going to be tough because now they got to play North Muskegon in the regional semifinals next week. They do get them at Pewamo Westphalia. PW does host the regional. That's good news, but they got to have Grady Eklund if they want to go any further, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I think he was ill, so that's why he did not play in the district. But yeah, obviously, he is the straw that stirs the drink there, and a very big key to what they've done. Averaging nearly 25 points a game, so they would like to have him in the lineup as they try to capture another regional title and try to get further than that this year.
Well, just mentioned Langsburg. Langsburg undefeated at 24-0. They're going to play another undefeated team in Chesaning. They beat Ovid Elsie last night in the district finals, 50-34. Don't know anything about Chesaning, but they must be pretty good because Ovid Elsie, very credible team, 14-10 on the season. You expected Chesaning to win. Good season for Ovid Elsie. A little bit down this year, but that should be one whale of a game on Tuesday night. Langsburg against Chesaning.
Oh, yeah, a Division III top 10 matchup between unbeatens. And, Langsburg had a tough regional last year that they got out of to get to the quarterfinal as well, too. And it's going to be the same case once again this year if they're going to get back to the state quarterfinal round.
All right, on to Division IV. Fowler and Portland St. Pat's, they played at Bellevue High School last night. Fowler wins it 56-44. Jacob Halfman, 23 points to lead the Eagles in the win. Alex Halfman added 12 as well, and Asher Kenishnek had 11 points rather. Fowler, team that finished third in the CMAC competitive CMAC. 17-7 on the season. Great win for Fowler. They move on to their own regional. Fowler hosts a regional just like PW does, but they got to play Wyoming Tri-Unity Christian, who's good every single year.
Yeah, they are definitely good every single year. But, obviously, Fowler was a team that was, the favorite heading down into that district. And, they took care of their business and are able to now get to the regional that they host at home. And, when you host something at home, you never know what can happen. And that home court advantage can pay off, as we saw in the district round when you look at teams like Charlotte and Ionia being able to win on their home floors to move on in the state tournament.
And finally, we got to talk about Weberville. Weberville hosted their own district last night, and things were looking good for more than a half or so. But then Brighton Livingston Christian, if the count I see is right, Brighton Livingston Christian outscored Weberville 51-9 to take the lead and then put away Weberville in the contest. That is, I mean, that's amazing. I mean, it just is. That's absolutely amazing to see that. And my computer here screwed up here, so I got to bring it back up here. The score was
41. It was 41-9 over the final 12 minutes of the game. We had our colleague Bill Kahn from Livingston was actually at that game, and
79-51 was the score. 79-51 was the score. Brighton Livingston Christian over Weberville. That's unbelievable. That's rare. You see that in high school.
Yeah, 41-9 run over the final 12 minutes of the game. I mean, just things got away, and I think their coach, Mr. Coach Rhodes over there,
Tony Rhodes,
Tony Rhodes, that they just kind of ran out of the gas there, and when Livingston Christian was able to pull away down the stretch. But Weberville was a young team, and they've got some talent coming up, and they could be back to what we saw a few years ago when Nate Lott was leading the way and an all-state kind of player. So.
Yeah, I mean, man, that's amazing. Yeah, 10-0 run to take the lead, and then a 41-9 run the rest of the way. So they outscored them 51-9 over most of the second half. 51 points and a half. That's unbelievable in a 16-minute half. That's just amazing. Quickly talk about some girls basketball. Final week of the regular season. Congrats to Portland St. Pat's. They win the outright league championship in the CMAC, beating out Fowler by a game. And the game I was at on Thursday, a mild upset. Williamston taking care of Portland at Williamston High School. A game I was at, and it was a surprise, 45-39 Williamston. And Abby Brannon, 13 points off the bench. Reese Gaitan had 12 points and 9 rebounds. That's a big win for Williamston. Weren't expected really to win the CAAC Red. They do so, and then they pull a mild upset, beating an outstanding Portland squad at home.
Yeah, that's the game I would have probably been at if I didn't have Michigan State women's basketball responsibilities that night. But that was a very nice win for Williamston to close the regular season over Portland, which had been on a nice little roll pretty much since they lost to Lansing Catholic in January. And the other good game was Lansing Catholic knocking off Holt in overtime.
Yeah, as
well too. That was another good result from Thursday night as well too. So there was a lot of good action out there, and really the final day of the high school girls regular season. But yes, state tournament time for them next week, and it'll be interesting to see what happens.
7 area boys teams are left. East Lansing and Waverly in Division 1, Charlotte and Ionia in Division 2, Langsburg and PW in Division 3, and Fowler in Division 4. Who's got the best chance to get to the quarterfinals out of those 7?
I think the road is going to be very tough for Langsburg, but obviously they're a team that you would expect to be able to get back there. And, obviously East Lansing is a team, too, that, is on a mission to do some things as well, too. And it looks well-equipped to maybe be able to make another run with just the talent that they have as well, too. Although getting past Waverly a third time will be no easy task.
And that game's on Tuesday at Kalamazoo Central. Brian Calloway, Prep Sports Editor of the Lansing State Journal, LSJ.com. Thanks so much for coming on as always. We'll talk to you same time next week.
Hey, sounds good, Brock. Thanks for having me.
And you're listening to your trusted source for high school sports coverage. This is High School Rewind on the game 730 AM WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network. Brought to you by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries and the Lansing Sports Commission.
WVFN.
Well, welcome back to High School Rewind here on the game 730 AM WVFN. We are brought to you today and always by the Lansing Sports Commission and by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries. If you're wondering what your future holds and you're not going to college, you found out college just isn't for you. Check out the future that skilled trades can offer you. You'll be surprised. Check them out at dowdingindustries.com. And, of course, Megan Ziemer and her great staff at the Lansing Sports Commission. No matter the sport, the Lansing Sports Commission can make your next event your best event. plan on something greater. Find out more at lansingsports.org. I do need to clarify something I mentioned at that interview there with Brian Calloway. We recorded that before the show due to prior commitments that Brian had. We wanted to come on, but he couldn't come on during his normal time at 10:40. So I did misspeak. It was not a 51-9 run for Brighton Livingston Christian against Weberville. It was 41-9. I read the thing wrong. Weberville went on a 10-0 run to take the lead in the third quarter, and then Brighton Livingston Christian outscored Weberville 41-9 the rest of the game. And that's how Livingston Christian was able to win 79-51 in that contest. So we got 7 area teams left on the boys, and then girls basketball districts will be coming up next week. Now, next week here on WVFN, our final broadcast of the season. It's either going to be a regional final for the boys on Thursday or preferably a girls district final. We could go to Portland. We could go a number of different places. We could go to Holt. We could go a number of different places coming up in the next week. But next week we will have another broadcast, and it'll be our final one of the season. And it'll be either a district or a district final for the girls on Friday, or a boys regional championship on Thursday. So looking forward to that. And it looks like we shouldn't have any conflicts with Michigan State sports. By the way, congratulations to Michigan State hockey winning their first ever regular season Big Ten championship, which does lead us into what's coming up later today on the Lansing Sports Network group of stations. Coming up at 2:45 here on WVFN, it's Red Wings hockey. Red Wings trying to rebound from a tough loss to the New York Islanders on Thursday. They got to play a tough opponent, though. The Florida Panthers coming up. It's here on WVFN at 2:45. And then at 5 o'clock, it is live at Breslin. Steve Goff and myself and others, special guests as well. That'll be Steve will be at the Nut House. I will be here at the radio station. That's 5 to 7, WJAM AM 1240 and Classic Rock 94.9 MMQ. That's from 5 to 7 before network coverage of Michigan State men's basketball playing Purdue at West Lafayette. That's when Will Tiemann and the crew will take over at 7 o'clock. WJIM and WMMQ. And then here on WVFN, the regular season finale for Michigan State hockey. Scott Moore, Rob Woodward will be at Madison, Wisconsin for that. Michigan State against Wisconsin, 8:30 p.m. pregame, 9 o'clock face-off there. Michigan State clinching the outright Big Ten regular season championship and last night with a 5-2 victory over Wisconsin. So they'll get next week off, and then they'll play in 2 weeks as the number one seed. And who the heck knows who they're going to play in the semifinals. So that's what's coming up here on this day here in the next day or so, and really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to the state tournament here in girls basketball and the regionals going on in boys basketball. Now, the week after that, it will be girls regionals the following Monday and Wednesday. That would be the following week, the 11th and the 13th. That's when the girls regionals are going to be. Boys quarterfinals are March 12th, and then the semifinals the 14th and 15th, and then we'll have state finals coverage all day long, beginning at 10 o'clock. That's when the first game happens. I believe that's the Division IV championship. That's what traditionally is. So therefore, on the 16th, High School Rewind, and the 23rd for that matter, because the girls' state finals are the following week, High School Rewind will air at 9 a.m. on the 16th and the 23rd. But a regular show next week. We'll have coaches' interviews coming up next week. Don't know who. Could be a boys' coach. Could be a girls' coach. Who the heck knows? We don't know. But it all depends on the results of the upcoming week here. So we got 7 area boys teams left. Let's go over the regional schedule again coming up on Tuesday night. In Division I, East Lansing against Waverly, 5:30 p.m. at Kalamazoo Central High School. In Division II, Ionia against Grand Rapids Catholic Central, 5:30 p.m. at Allendale High School. Charlotte, the upset winner of their district, they will play Chelsea at 7 o'clock at Adrian High School. That in Division II. In Division III, 2 undefeated teams at Jackson Lumen Christi High School. 7 p.m. Langsburg against Chesaning. And then at the regional at Powama Westphalia High School, it's PW against North Muskegon. And North Muskegon, 24-0 on the season. PW, 22-2. Both those games in Division III are at 7 o'clock, as is the one at Fowler High School. Division IV, Fowler against Wyoming Tri-Unity Christian. Fowler 17-7 on the year. I believe Wyoming Tri-Unity Christian is 19-5. So that's what we got coming up in the regional tournament for boys basketball. And again, for all the girls basketball district matchups, you can go to thegame730am.com, or you can go to lansingsportsnetwork.com. It just pops right up on the window there. You should be able to see it. Just click on it, and you should be able to see all of the matchups there. Really looking for it. The magic of March. It is here, and man, it's really great. Great atmosphere last night. Thanks to Connor Thomas and all the administrators that were there. Great job keeping the crowd under control, and great atmosphere at Mason High School, and East Lansing showing why, they're the best big school team in the area. Again, just a tremendous job there. All right, that's going to do it for me. I'm Brock Palmbush. This has been High School Rewind on the Game 730 AM WVFN. We'll talk to you next week.